Okay, so welcome to the bonus video. Right now you're not really seeing all the stuff because it's over there. We'll get to that in a minute. I would just like to say a couple different things. You're probably hearing some sort of noise in the background. It is my floor fan. It's very hot. It's been very hot where I live this month, which is also why this bonus video will only feature my hands, because I am barely legally dressed and you guys don't need to see that. Okay, I'm in my 30s. Also, I have my swatch notebook out before I actually do a test drawing, because I have a lot of stuff to try out today for the video. So, of course, at first I'd like to see what colors I have. It's probably going to be like the boring part, if you don't mind. So, the bonus video is going to be mostly on cheap dollar store products. I got the idea when I found this. These are what I assume to be some alcohol markers, because they basically look like Copic clones. I'll just grab one of my originals. Basically, it looks like this. We'll go into detail when I actually open the pack. I didn't open this pack. I wanted to try it out for the video for you guys. But first, there will also be these metallic color therapy pencil. They're supposed to be metallic. I didn't even open the box yet either, so I don't know if it's just the body that's metallic or the lead. I have some fine liners, also from the dollar store. And something I found at the same time as the Copic clones, a set of paintbrush markers, which they're washable, so I assume they're water-based, so I will also be testing them with this, my water brush. And finally, the reason why it took so bloody long for me to film the video was I was waiting for a Copic clone from Wish, and it took 3 months to arrive. Here it is, a Touch 5 twin marker in purple gray. Now, if you guys don't mind, this is grayish lavender. As you can see, there's not much gray going on here. So here we go. We are starting, of course, with the Touch 5 Copic clone in the 88 purple gray. It has a fine nib, like the Copic original, and a chisel nib on the other side. Yeah, this one actually opened because I couldn't believe it was actually here. I don't know if you guys can see, the nib is kind of sticking out a little bit from the base. And I accidentally cut it. Good start, Sharon. So let's at least see what happens. Yeah, that's definitely... I'm probably going to see if I can do some... add some little background music, because I'm probably not going to talk all that friggin' time. So this is... It certainly behaves like one. Like an alcohol marker, twin marker, broad. Look at that though, it's bleeding a lot, but that's to be expected. This is normal paper. We'll see later on how it behaves on nice, thick marker, well, mixed media paper. What I am using right now for mixed media is my 3 hours later, Sharon, come on. There we go. My Console Mixed Media XL sketchbook. You probably noticed real quick that I have stickers on the back of it because I actually use it upside down because I am left-handed. I didn't think about that when I started this one, so sorry about that. Also, look at it. That's my Pentel hybrids. Look how freaking shiny they are. It drives me nuts. I love them so much. The Wink of Stella Zig Transparent, however, not so much. It tends to leave a film when you color, and I don't like that at all. What's the point of having a transparent marker when it's not transparent? That's my question. Fine. Purple gray. There's no gray in there at all. Also, while I'm here, I barely touched the cover right here. Look at that. Purple gray. Now, these are double tip markers. I'm assuming this is fine nib, and this is obviously chisel nib. Artist Series alcohol-based ink encre à base d'alcool. I found it at the Dollarama for $2, and it was the only pack that I saw at all. So if there are other packs, I will also grab them. Opening it for you guys right now, semi-live. Getting rid of the wrapper. Here we go. We have a warm gray one, which if we compare with my Copic one, not really warm if I just go by the barrel. We also have a CJ8, which I assume is cold gray 8. The closest I have is either my C6 or my C9. My C9, from what I'm seeing, is the closest. So I'll put my C6 away. Put my C6 away. And the 120, which is, I grab my 110 for that, special black, which is a black. Oh, wow. Wow, Queen of the Obvious, Sharon. There you go. So let's see. Chisel nib. Yee. Okay. Very fibrous, also sticking out a little bit. And this is the warm gray one. Let's see. Yep, that's alcohol, right? And what's the other end? Yeah, bullet nib, as expected. So this is, ooh, much better right there than the Touch 5 one. I can feel the difference. This nib is much sharper. You can almost see it. So right there, because what's the point of having a bullet nib if it doesn't, you know, act sharp? WG1 Artists. Well then, okay. At least I understand myself. And if I was monetized, I just lost that. We're going to compare on this in a little bit. Stay up there, you. Next, we have the Cold Gray 8. Doink. Oh, sorry. Oh, we're having one of those days, aren't we, fellas? And it seems like you cannot see because I refuse to put any more lights than what we already have right now. It seems like each cap is very specified to each end. I don't know if you can tell. It feels like this one is like slightly slimmer than the other one. All I know is that I tried to switch them and it just like stopped. It felt like I was forcing. Oh, that is definitely cool. That is cool. The W Gray one is more neutral. It doesn't feel warm at all because I'm used to my other one being slightly yellowish, but that's just me. I'm at least going to write down the color. If color, you can call it that. Cold Gray 8. It's a little scratchy, but as scratchy that you would expect from a marker. Not scratchy like when I have a terrible time with a pen. And finally, the 120. Oh, while I'm here. Okay, what I was doing, I was scratching on the tip, see if it would fall off as easily as with the Touch 5, but no, this is solid. So right there, bonus point. What kind of black do we have here? Chisel nib. Doink, 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 doink. nice and neutral. Thing is, I have a lot of problem. If I don't place it exactly right, I have to struggle to push it back in. So as far as speed goes, it's slowing me down a little bit. 120. There we go. Put you back up here. Oh, we're already up to 10 minutes. So instead of testing these, I'm going to keep doing this like later on. I tested the ones I wanted to test, and I'm going to get to the drawing part. So it's going to be a little less boring for you guys, and I'll put it in stop motion, not stop motion, time lapse. Make an effort, Sharon. And I'll see you guys in a little bit. Okay, so basically, first I'm going to move these out of the way because I am going to need to move my sketchbook. I did the test, and well, basically, this is not a warm gray. This is definitely a cool gray. This is my warm 1 Copic, and as you can see, as I told you, it is slightly more yellowish, kind of beige. And the warm gray 1 in Artist Series is definitely a cool Copic. I'm going to take a quick chance real quick. I'm just gonna see, it's much closer. Maybe I should have took the C2. There you go. It's much closer to a cool gray than a warm gray. CG8 is effectively a cold. And the 120 is practically indistinguishable from the 110 Copic. So, basically, from the feel of it, and from all, I actually used it on my little Lisa Frank unicorn right there. It feels pretty much the same, really. Just that you can't really trust what it says on the cap. Because this isn't warm. This is definitely not warm. Other than that, works pretty well. Nice sturdy nibs on that, so I'm not disappointed. For what, $2 I said? Yeah, $2. For $2, I'm not disappointed. Of course, there's always the problem that they're not refillable, but still they're from the dollar store, so if you're in a pinch, and you can just grab a pack of random colors. I heard there were different packs, but I did not see them. So, not a waste. Not a waste. Next. First, I'm going to move that. These are shit. Let me explain. I attempted to use the paler blue to do the sketch. I used three different professional sharpeners, and I could not get a point. It kept breaking constantly. I had to use a different blue, which, as you can see, looks pigmented and saturated. There's barely a line. This is the darkest line. If you can see it in the marker, that's the darkest line. It doesn't erase too well either, but then again, you don't really expect to erase colors pencils. And there, couldn't really see any metallic going on. There's some, if you push, it's a nice color, but is it really worth it if you're going to be spending half of your time sharpening? That's my question. Might as well get some professional ones, or at least semi-professional, amateur, student, something like that. Not necessarily Crayola. You get a nice color, but at what cost if you pass half of your pencil sharpening? Now, these ones are actually pretty good. Notice I'm keeping this one apart. I'll tell you why in a second. You do get some nice sharp lines, and they only melt with the water when you do it on purpose. And then again, they hold their line pretty well. Look at this. I did some watercolor after doing the line art, as you saw earlier, and they kept their line as crisp as possible. So as far as quality, these ones are pretty good for $3.50. However, I didn't do that. I opened the cap and I went to do the line, and this happened. So if this kind of stuff bothers you, don't get these, because you never know what might happen. However, I was still able to get a nice line going. So that was a nasty little surprise. Other than that, they don't scratch at all. The application is super smooth, and they don't melt in water too well, which is what you want actually in a set of fine liners. So I'm not exactly disappointed. They're pretty good. It's just that sometimes they're not really careful when they package. Now my happy surprise. Eventually. There we go. My happy surprise were these for $3.50 also at the dollar store. These are pretty generic, but they work like beautifully. I mean, just look over here where I wash my water brush. They mix together pretty well. They do a nice effect, and they're strongly pigmented. They work exactly like watercolors. Just gonna grab one real quick right now, and you get a magnificent point with this. You can do yoinks. You can do some thin, super thin lines. You can do some bold lines. You can do pretty much whatever you want with these. They are smooth. They don't scratch. They don't fudge because they are felted, but they're like tightly felted. Of course, you want to work pretty fast, and look at how well they mix with water. They're already pretty much very watery from the start. Once again, they're from the dollar store, but it's not super a problem. It's another one of those that if you're stuck in a pinch, they do well, but at the same time, they give out a beautiful array of colors, and they mix well. So as far as this one goes, as you can tell, the dollar store ones were pretty sharp. This one, I don't know if it's the mix of the alcohol and the pigment or the paper itself, though I don't think it's the paper, seeing as it's not so bad over here. There's a lot of feathering. You can't really get a detailed work with the small nib on this one. It's like it dispenses too much ink at once. My drawing is still cute, but it's still a test drawing. But at the same time, it tends to soak up in the paper. So I'm guessing the ink is more liquidy than the Copic ink or the Artist Series ink. So I'm not super happy with it, but technically, I got the marker for free, and I paid $2 for shipping. So long story short, if you absolutely have to have some art supplies, you're near a dollar store, a Canadian dollar store, I don't know what it's like in the States dollar stores, you might want to get a pack of these, the fine line markers, a Studio brand. And you definitely want a pack of these washable paintbrush markers for a total of $7 before tax, Canadian. So, yeah, not bad at all. And of course, they also have different kind of pencils over there and stuff like that. But at the same time, that's, yeah, honestly, I'm pretty impressed with the paintbrush markers, the watercolor markers. Not so much with the Touch 5 up here. Surprised with the dollar store Artist Series alcohol marker, especially for the part where it's supposed to be warm, and it's not warm! So here you go for the bonus video. I'll see you guys, let's see, what date are we today? I'll see you guys in a couple of weeks for the Art Snacks August box. And I love you guys. Please like, comment, especially comment. Comments are super important. That's how I know what you guys want to see. subscribe, take a look at my Patreon if you want. More support means more videos and more stuff for you guys. I love you all. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.